Alright friends, welcome back to my channel. This week I hope you guys had a wonderful week, and I'm going to be showing you how I do my A5 Stalogy. It's a bullet journal and I do make these stickers myself, and that is some of the things that I'm wanting to be adding to my bullet journal this week. Those stickers I didn't make. Those ones came from Sticky, and they are books with the like an open book concept. And inside there are photos of basically probably what you've read. So some of them have pictures of like fish in the ocean and animals in the jungle, and kind of like just kind of like getting lost in a book and how that can be for people that love to read. And I'm happy to say that I think that my voice has started healing. So it took a lot of months. And so hopefully throughout the rest of this year, those infusions have worked and I'm on my way to feeling a lot better. So I'm just sectioning out my horizontal layout right here. And what I'm doing is making a line across so that I can put Monday through Sunday. I do start out with a Monday start, but with a bullet journal, you have the flexibility of doing honestly anything that you want in your notebook. And so I love to use the darker color to highlight the week. And then I go in with a pen and just start writing out my days. How many of you guys are watching the Gilmore Girls? I always try to watch it at least every couple of years during the fall time. It is one of my favorite shows. So I think that Rory and me are the same age. And realistically, she would probably be in her older 30s, young 40s. And so when I watch those shows, the first time I watched it, I was in the eyes of Rory because her and I were the same age. But now that I'm watching it and I'm a mom of adult kids and an older teenager, I am now looking through the eyes of Lorelai, her mom. So it's just really a cool show, and I think that it is something that a lot of people honestly love just starting up in the fall. It's with good books and chocolate milk, hot chocolate milk, and the Gilmore Girls. So anyways, let's go back to my bullet journal. I'm just sectioning out. I did change the format this week from last week. So what I'm doing is sectioning out my timed events and the one that I put my temperature on. And then right here, I'm actually putting my chores up. Instead of putting it at the bottom of that line, I'm going to be putting it at the top of that line, because what I want is I want the very bottom and the right hand side of my notebook to be a space for journaling throughout the week and for me to hand letter with my Tombow pens. So that's what that looks like. And then the left hand side of that paper, in camera it looks really, really ghosted, but it is not like that in real life. I tried to fix it through like adjusting the lighting, but unfortunately I have no idea what I'm doing, and so I was unable to fix that part of it. But here I go in and just highlight with a lighter color underneath that, so that way I can see the sections and the categories a lot better when I look at it throughout the week. That highlighter just kind of brings it all in for me. Who else tracks their weather? I absolutely love tracking the weather, so I'm drawing it out right now with the Micron pen, and it's going to be very sunny and pretty warm this week. So I'm happy about the weather, except for it's starting to get chillier, and I hate chilly weather. So I just like I just hate it. So I can't wait until I am in the warm sun again. And so what I did was I zoomed in so that you guys could see the weather a little bit better. And for those that gave me compliments about my clouds last week, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for the positivity and for the encouragement on my channel. And thank you guys for the kind compliments. That was really kind because I was like, these things are horrible, but you guys were like, nope, they look nice. So here I am writing my chores in. I did from last week, what I did was I bumped my chores up to the middle category so that way the journaling could all be at the bottom, because my chores realistically, when I was looking at it, were being sandwiched in between two places where I did a lot of lettering with the tombos, so they were getting lost kind of on the page. So that's why I wanted to move the chores up to see if that made a big difference in there. And here I am highlighting my schedule. My schedule, I always have to see it up towards the top, and I don't think that I'm going to be changing that from this year onto next year's. Even when I use my A6 Hobonichi, I'm going to be cross-sectioning out a category section. That way I can put all of my appointments up at the top. Since my Hobonichi is going to be my main planner, I want to make sure that all of the appointment times are up at the top, because when I open up my book and look throughout the week, I need to see exactly where I need to be and what I need to, what I need to do that week. So some of them are virtual. Some of them are physical places that we have to go to. And I always do the worship. Now for me, worship is done online. I got used to going online when I was quarantining myself before my infusions were done. And still after my infusions, I was pretty sick, so I didn't want to be around people. But I enjoyed the online because I was able to listen at the same time as do other things. And I also did not have to drive back and forth, which saved time, and it saved physical. If you guys are chronically ill, you know how much driving or getting up and getting ready, all those little things that add up to you being worn out and not being able to do anything. So with me going to service online, it gives me so much time to be able to meal prep for the week. So what I did Sunday was I went ahead and made dough up for the week. So if those of you guys who have been on my channel know that I make all my homemade bread, all my homemade noodles, all that kind of stuff. So this week what I made for dinner was I made pizza dough, and I did that by machine, and I actually make it kind of sticky. So that way it doesn't have too much flour in it. And I make it with a mix of bread flour and all-purpose flour. That way it's not too chewy if I use all-purpose flour, and it is soft and fluffy. So we're going to be having homemade pizza today, and I also make my marinara sauce for the pizza. And then we have mozzarella that we have, I guess it was, I'm not sure if it was really homemade or what, but we got it from Sam's Club, and it's really good because it comes in these little blobs. And so you just put the blobs on the pizza and they melt in, and they're really good. But, so that's what we're going to be making. And I also made noodles. So my homemade noodle recipe is made with, what is it made with? Pasteurized, free-range chicken eggs. They're so orange and they're so good. They taste so much different than what you get at the grocery store. If you guys are able to afford pasteurized over the cage-free, I would highly suggest that you do the pasteurized over the cage-free. They are all organic. They're both organic. So don't be fooled when it says cage-free organic. The pasteurized should be organic as well. The pasture raised, totally big difference. So the pasture raised chicken eggs is what we buy. So with my noodle dough recipe, I do it all by hand. I knead it by hand, and then I set it up, I wrap it up in saran wrap and put it up in my cabinet for a couple of hours to let it rest. And then what I do is I divide it into 4, and then I hand roll it out. And so you want your noodles to actually feel like, when they're hand rolled out, you want the dough to feel like soft silk. So there's not going to be flour sticking to it. I don't use a lot of flour in my dough recipe. Well, I don't use a lot of flour to roll it out. So they are fresh noodles. And here I am like messing up my dinner thing. So with the dinner, you're going to see a lot of the stuff that I made from Sunday on my meal plan. So I fix the dinner thing after a little bit, but what I was talking about with my noodles, so what you want is you want it to feel like silk. And they will not stick to each other, so that you can fold them up and then cut them out and then unfold them. And they like make these perfect fettuccine lengths. And then what I do is I cut them in thirds for stew or for noodles. And the noodles that I end up making are usually in like a chicken stock with some vegetables with it. And it's kind of like a poor man's chicken noodle stew, but it tastes really, really good. And then the Alfredo I do make from scratch. It's just cream, butter, the Parmesan cheese, not the stuff that you get in the can. It is the stuff that you buy. You can buy it shaved or you can buy it in like the shredded. So, or you can actually shred it yourself. I do have a brick up in the freezer that I pull down and hand shred from time to time. So that with the flavors of some chicken stock and some herbs and some salt and pepper. But mostly what sets it apart is I use a little bit of, I know it sounds weird, but I use a little bit of oregano. So anyways, that's my meal plan, and I'm doing my tracker right now. I'm so sorry I haven't been like keeping up with what was going on my screen. So I'm doing my tracker, and I use that glue stick. It is really, really good. It's called GLOO, I believe. Super good. Next year, I'm just going to put all my stuff on sticker paper because I am not dealing with gluing stuff in my book. I still need to practice a lot with my hand lettering. I do like these Tombow Futosuko pens because they have a smaller tip than the Tombow brush markers, and so you have a lot more control. And what I want to do is get the colored versions of these or similar to it for my A6 because my A6 is so much smaller. It just makes more perfect sense to have a smaller pen and a smaller notebook. So that's what I'm looking for, and I'm waiting for Amazon Prime to see if anything goes on sale before I make any purchases. So that's what we're doing, and hopefully I'll be able to get some really pretty pastel new markers to be able to test in my new Hobonichi for next year. I don't even think I'm going to finish this book out this year. I think this book is going to be filled out before the end of the year happens. I think that if I go through like and count my pages, I think that sometime in November I'm going to be like scrambling to find something to give me a 2-week window gap between that and December when I can actually start using my new Hobonichi, at least for the monthly. So what I'm going to have to do is probably either print out something for myself to use and kind of staple it together like a booklet, kind of like a traveler's notebook booklet, just to get me through. So I take all that back. The weekly will still be able to be in my A5. I'm just going to lose all of my dailies. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do for my dailies. And that is one of the stickers that I made myself. It's on clear sticker paper, and it's my YouTube icon, just showing you that I've done a YouTube video on that day. And here are some of the stickers that I did make. I'm going to be adjusting all the colors so that way the lights are not too light for my printer. So I'm going to make them a little bit darker so that they're not so bright. And then you can see a little bit better of those book stickers that I was talking about at the beginning of my video. So those book stickers, hopefully you guys can see them clearly. I'm so sorry I did not zoom anything in. I'm really sorry about that. So at this point, I actually write in my meal plan. And you guys, if you guys heard me talking about what I made for meal prep this week, then you guys would know what I make. And so somebody did ask me, why do I only cook 3 meals? Do I do a lot of meal prep? And I said, no, I don't. Sometimes I don't. Most of the time I don't. So I want to get back to meal prepping where I cut all my vegetables up. I cut all of my meats up, or I freeze portions of those like individual meats. Like I take them out of their package, I individualize, like put them in plastic, put them in the freezer, so that way I can just pull out what I need. So what I actually have is we have a meal delivery service that provides us with 4 meals during the week to help me out because I was so ill. But it helps me so that I don't have to do dinners 7 days a week. So I hope that clears that up. That's the only reason why I do 3 meals a day. So hopefully I can get back to my meal prepping every week because I honestly missed it and I think it was really good. So those are those book stickers and hopefully you guys can see them better. I do bring them up closer from time to time, but I'm really kind of frustrated with the dark area. I do have an overhead light on that is specifically for, like, it's like a ring light. It's specifically for doing videos. I even have it turned on. It's just so dark outside because the sun is not bright. And so I don't have that natural sunlight. So I'm trying to adjust it manually with my camera. And I hope that you guys can see those book stickers. They're so cute. And so I do stick in, one of them does remind me of like the Harry Potter video, just because it has an owl and it has the bird with the mail in it. So I think that those ones are supposed to be for Harry Potter. It's the one on the bottom by the pain tracker, or not by the pain tracker, but by my actual tracker that I keep. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I will see you in the next video.